IGN Game Scoop.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN Game Scoop. I'm your host, Damon Hadfield. This is Mitch Dyer.
Hi.
This is Justin Davis.
Hello.
That's Brian Altano.
Yo.
I've been in Tokyo for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Mitch was there for a good part of the time with
Yeah.
me. We went for the Tokyo Game Show.
I've heard of that.
It's the biggest video game convention in, probably not in Asia anymore. There's that show in Korea now that Clements is going to.
G-Star?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably the biggest one now in Asia. But Tokyo Game Show has been going on for a long time. It takes place in Makuhari, actually not in Tokyo.
Not in Tokyo.
This is your first time going there,
Yeah,
Mitch.
ever in Japan.
Yeah. So first of all, what was your impression of the Tokyo Game Show?
The Tokyo Game Show was weird because it was a bunch of stuff that I don't care about. It's a bunch of games that I'm like, I don't know what this is. Professor Layton seems pretty cool with Phoenix Wright, and Monster Hunters, I don't know. It's a bunch of games that I'm like completely unfamiliar with. I'm not a huge JRPG fan. There's a lot of those. So I was like totally out of my element, but it was really cool just to see like this whole other world of gaming that I personally just am not a part of.
Yeah, so there's obviously a lot of Japanese games that will never be released over here.
Yeah, a lot.
But plus, that show has changed so much just over the past few years. I wrote an article on IGN, I don't know if you guys saw this, but there were something like 3 times as many iOS games as any console game.
Yeah, that was a really telling article. I was sitting here
Yeah.
going like, oh man, maybe there is like a limit to all the fun we're having here.
Right?
There were 2 Wii U games and 30 PSP games.
Right.
30 PSP games.
Yeah, the PSP is 8 years old.
It's going strong over there.
When we would travel around Tokyo, I'd see people playing the old school PSP more than I saw the Vita.
Or the 3DS too,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I saw exactly one Vita.
I saw kids playing the 3DS. That was it though.
What phones are they using over there? Are they using
iPhone.
Are they
Yeah,
a lot
So
of
the
people
iPhone
using
5,
iPhones?
iPhone 5 was released while we were there. We went by an Apple store that day. There was a line, stretching down the street for the
that's-
iPhone, and pretty much every young person I saw out and about in Tokyo had an iPhone.
That's interesting because that's different than how it used to be. The iPhone was behind in Asia for a long time.
Yeah,
They didn't
oh,
want to
yeah.
get on board, and they still had their Japanese feature phones. And so
When the iPhone was released here, smartphones had been a thing in Japan for years.
For a long time, yeah.
For a long, long time. They've been playing games on their phones for a long time.
Yep.
And now Japan has adopted the iPhone as their smartphone of choice.
It was great too because Damon and I arrived and we made a game. We're like, oh, I wonder what phones they use in this wacky foreign country. Let's count how many iPhones. They're everywhere. We just lost the game because it's iPhones everywhere.
it's like San Francisco.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, part of the thing with mobile phones in Japan and mobile gaming in general is that obviously some people drive, but most people commute by train.
Yeah.
And this is common to us in San Francisco. I think all 4 of us
Yeah.
take the train into work, or maybe you scoot into work
I ride
sometimes.
my scooter.
But like in most of the United States, people don't commute by train. It's not that common.
Well,
People-
it's not even an option.
Right, and so that's sort of the cultural disconnect that a lot of people have between North America and Japan. Like mobile gaming is huge in Japan, and handheld gaming is huge in Japan because everyone
Look at
had
Gree. I
yeah,
mean, massive.
yeah, and
Gree had the biggest booth at TGS.
It was absurd.
yeah,
bigger than Sony's booth by
Yeah.
like a few meters.
They had a
I think.
huge booth at E3.
And most people don't even know what that company is.
you
Yeah.
should watch our video.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, people have a lot more downtime in Japan to do mobile gaming, and people's apartments are very small, so that's why sometimes console gaming or things like Kinect or even the Wii to a certain extent aren't quite as successful.
2 Wii games at the show. A new console that's being released in 2 months. There were 2 games at the show.
The Wii,
So is
two
that
Wii U
is that
games.
is that Nintendo's fault? Because I know they historically kind of pull away.
Nintendo
from-
wasn't even at
Yeah,
the
they're
show.
not. They
They don't even
completely
go.
absent.
They used to do Space World.
But still, like this is no third parties are making Wii games.
Sure, and I mean,
that
if
what
there
you're
were 2
with?
games, I don't think it's like a Nintendo restricting access or anything. Like, these guys can bring their Dragon Quest, but you can't bring Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no Nintendo console has ever had like overwhelming third-party support ever. Like everyone buys Nintendo consoles for Nintendo games.
Sure.
And there are exceptions. Like there are lots and lots of great DS games I bought from third parties, but generally speaking, Nintendo boxes are for their own software.
Sure.
And if they have really good third-party games, that's always been kind of a bonus.
I'd say that's what the majority of people buy them for too.
Yeah.
We go in there knowing, and every time they're like, "Oh, there's gonna be so much third-party support." We're like, "That's a lie." But
Yeah.
thanks.
You know,
We'll play Mario and Zelda, and then you'll leave us alone for 5 years like you always do.
That's true. I mean, a lot of people complain like, "Oh, my Wii's collecting dust. I haven't played it in months or even years." But like, I loved Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. I loved Zelda. I love Wii Sports, and all that stuff was. I don't know if that's worth the $200 or $250 a console was.
My Wii has been an ActRaiser machine for 5 years.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No.
It's definitely worth the $250
Yeah, totally.
to play ActRaiser in 2012. There was a Nintendo ad running on the trains constantly, but it was for the Art Academy.
Yeah.
It was for the new one for 3DS.
メロン描くぜ。
まずはしっかりと形を捉えましょう。
丁寧に描くぜ。
基本の色はベタッと塗ります。
ワイルドに塗るぜ。
ツヤは軽く叩くように。
ここがうまいんだぜ。
メロンの完成です。
できたぜ。高級感があるぜ。
絵をうまく描くにはコツがあります。任天堂 3DS 新絵心教室。
これでどうだ。切り分けてやったぜ。
It was so weird too. Like they just cast this guy who like is this macho burly
tough guy.
like
He's
almost
like
like
a
a
biker
construction
dude.
worker or something like that. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing, but he's like, I'm gonna draw a cantaloupe.
I kind of like that they took my entire 4 years of art school experience in New York and put it on a little cart for $30.
Yes.
You'll probably learn more than I did. So
Yeah.
you should do that with other people's college degrees.
Yeah. So the impression I got was that Japan is still playing a lot of games, but they're just not playing very many console games.
Yeah.
Just like moving about the city, we weren't seeing any advertisements for new games coming out, like for PlayStation 3. Certainly not for Xbox. Nobody, that
the
system.
only Xbox thing I saw was we went into a big department store of some kind, and there was this massive Xbox kiosk, and there were 2 Xboxes, and it was running an Xbox ad, and it was like Halo 4 coming soon, and dead center on the kiosk in the middle, at the bottom middle, was PlayStation 3, $200. It's like, really? Okay, all right, I get it.
It's a tough sell.
The Tokyo Game Show goes over 4 days, and the first 2 days are only open to like business people. And it wasn't very crowded in there. It
was nice.
I didn't feel a lot of energy on the show floor because there wasn't a lot of like new hot stuff. But then for the public days, they broke an attendance record. So people are still going to that show and playing all these mobile games, I guess. They're like, oh, I gotta play the new puzzle game from Brie. Konami had that game Dragon Collector.
Yeah.
There's a game called Dragon Collector, or maybe Dragon Collection.
I saw that here in San Francisco.
And so that was huge there, and they just announced they're bringing it over here.
Yep.
So I don't know. We'll see what kind of game that is.
They have Konami also has a big social gaming, Facebook gaming division. They have a Major League Baseball game on Facebook now.
Do they have a Star Wars one coming too? I saw an ad like as I walked into the convention center. I looked at Konami and there was like a Star Wars collection sign, and I was like, "Oh, what is this?" And it vanished by the time I got over there, and there was nothing else there. I almost wonder if I hallucinated.
It was a mirage. I saw your video
sad.
for the 3DS XL Circle Pad Pro.
Yeah, it's
That
so
thing is
big. Because like
gigantic.
so the 3DS XL is big,
Yeah.
right? And then you add that on there, like it's huge.
It's a yacht.
Yeah.
You might as well bring like a toy boat on a train.
If your plane crashes, you can use it as a flotation device.
It's ridiculous. And I think only like 3 or 4 games support the thing anyway, so.
Yeah.
Did you see all the comments on that video?
No, were they mad at you?
No, they were it was just about the girl. Every comment was just about the girl that was holding.
Was it one of those things where it was like strapped to a lady?
Yeah, it was.
Those
Yeah.
are the worst. They did that at E3 one year.
Yeah.
Nintendo did.
That's
Yeah,
really
somehow.
gross.
So that was Tokyo Game Show. It's a very interesting show to cover these days.
Do you
but we had
think-
a good time.
Do you think people in Japan, like our own Caleb Lawson at IGN, is notorious for loving Japanese games, Japanese action games? He loved, a lot of the games that
Vanquish.
Yeah,
The
Dragon's
Platinum
Dogma,
games,
a lot of
like
that stuff.
Max Anarchy.
Yeah. So, are people that like first-person shooters in Japan? Like, if you're super pumped about
So,
Halo, or like,
so there was the Medal of Honor booth, and it was just vacant the entire time. There was
Interesting.
not a soul.
Interesting to note. Sega publishes Electronic Arts games in Japan. So
Yeah.
Medal of Honor, Need for Speed, all that stuff was being published by Sega. I thought that was
Really?
interesting. Yeah.
That's really weird.
But there was
That's
a
why
lot
they
of.
thrive there, I guess.
I
Yeah,
did
I had
see-
no idea.
I know. I did see kind of a push for Black Ops 2. Like I think there's a small group of people who actually play that game
that's
in
what I'm
Japan.
saying. Like, I'm not saying I know they're not very popular,
Right.
but if you are an FPS fan in Japan, are people going to give you a hard time? Like Vanquish is not that great of a game, in my opinion. But
I know a lot of people disagree with you. I
Well,
have
that's what I'm
not
saying.
played
Like,
it myself.
depending on what your taste is, some people love it.
It's taking all my energy not to be really sad at you right now.
You like Vanquish? Are you one of those guys?
Not as extreme as Caleb, but I really liked Vanquish.
Enough about this games bullshit.
Yeah.
Tell me about the fun, cool, crazy
okay.
nighttime activities
So
that you
we
saw.
also did a lot
That's
of
what I
that.
really care about.
We also did a lot of that too. So it's this thing in Tokyo where there's these certain districts with really small bars, like packed into these tight little alleyways. It's like the bar is as big as this sitting area. And they seat like 4 or 5 people.
There's just like a bar in front of us, like this table, and
Yeah.
then like the bartender.
And then there'll be rows and rows of these bars, and you can just wander in there. And it almost seems like these are people's homes, where they turn their front room into a bar and they're making some money.
Well,
off
one of
that.
them absolutely was.
What?
Yeah. So
Like you can see their beds and
No,
shit in the
So
back?
we go to this place. We're just wandering around trying to find a great place, And Craig Barradon, one of the video producers here at IGN, goes upstairs. He's like, I think this is a bar. And he goes up and he asks, hey, can we get drinks and food here? And they're like, yeah, come on in. So he comes back down and gets us, and we go upstairs, and we sit down at the bar, and we realize, like, this lady just got back from buying groceries. It's just, like, groceries all over her, her bar. We look in the back, and there's, like, a table and, like, maybe a bed, and it was really uncomfortable.
The bar was just stacked with, like, with all these different bowls
Fish
of food that she was preparing,
lettuce,
and
chicken.
she was like, yeah, sure, but I think it was a little early for her. Like, she was getting ready to open up. She was like, sure, sit here, and then she gave us beers, and then she just started like handing us food, and it was like this chicken stuff.
Yeah, it was like ice cold chicken. I was so afraid of it.
So it's really weird and awkward. And then the night before that, or sometime earlier that week, we had a really awkward experience in one of those bars. Because I figure like there's these tiny little bars. There's just room for the bartender and then maybe 4-5 people max. Yeah. So it could go either way, right? It could be either awkward or you could have this really amazing, friendly experience. The first one we had was really awkward.
Awful, yeah.
Like she was not thrilled that these gaijin were like in her bar at all. She was like, she gave us our beer and then she was just like,
yeah,
there were conversations about movies because she had like movie posters all over the bar, and we were trying to talk to her about that, and she was just not having it at all.
So we were just like sitting there. It was like this, like 4 of us in our bar, just like.
It was terrible.
And Zipkin, the producer of this show, was like, he knows a lot of Japanese. He was trying to make small talk with her, and she would like answer a question and then.
Oh, that's
like
unfortunate.
yes, no answers.
We did find out her
brave.
favorite movies were Fargo, The Big Lebowski, and 3 Men and a Little Baby.
3 Men and a Baby.
What? And then we found out Mitch has never seen 3 Men and a Little Baby.
Or heard of.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Didn't know who Steve Guttenberg was.
Wow. You young little whippersnapper. That's like, I mean, so that's not his finest film moment. I don't think that's
What, Police Academy or Short Circuit?
Police Academy.
Okay.
Hands down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
He also,
Anyway,
Those are really white movies, by the way. For Fargo, like, aren't you losing something in the translation if you're watching Fargo in like Japanese?
are they doing a weird Japanese version of that accent?
Yeah, a Japanese version of the Minnesota accent.
I would love to see that.
We need to find Fargo and watch it in Japanese.
we do need to watch it translated for sure. But then we had a really great experience at one of those small bars in Shinjuku. There's a whole district of them called Golden Gai. Gai is G-A-I. And then we just wandered into one randomly, and it was tiny bar. The bartender looked like Johnny Depp.
He looked a lot like Johnny Depp.
He was the Asian Johnny Depp.
Are you sure it wasn't Johnny Depp?
No,
We can't be sure. We can never be sure.
He's
He's a man of 1,000 faces, Justin.
That's
true.
Researching a role, but he was like very nice and quiet, and he didn't know a lot of English, but he was like he was very.
He was trying to communicate.
Hospitable. He was very hospitable. Yeah.
I mean, he was like trading music with you, and you guys were like trying to figure out music and
he
like
was playing some
communicating
cool
via
music,
phone.
and yeah, we were talking. I was asking him about Japanese beers, and then he serves us these little bowls of some sort of food. We didn't know what it was, so he like pulled up a translation app on his iPhone and then was trying to show.
Here's
us what
the
this food
ingredients
was.
in the thing you're eating.
Was there a lot of that of just like dig in, find
Yeah.
out later what it is?
Oh yeah.
That happens.
That's really scary.
Yeah.
I like Japanese food, so
I would not
I'm
eat
usually-
food.
I do too, but I mean, we live in San Francisco where everybody's like hyper allergenic to everything and super
Yeah.
specific. I need gluten-free, dairy-free.
does this guy get
I hope
the-
this
I was
chicken
thinking
was
it would be-
massaged.
I was
This whole
thinking it would
joke's
be
this
really
whole
hard
life.
for you to
or-
travel there
Needs
if
to
you
have
had
almond
like
milk in it.
Yeah.
a shellfish allergy.
Sure,
like,
sure.
Be in big trouble.
You just really got to turn it off. Like there was like.
That's not how it works.
No,
not
no,
how
not the
allergies
allergy, not
work.
the allergy.
Shellfish
Your
allergy.
aversion to certain foods. Like,
Oh.
we got like tongue and stomach, and it was like, well, okay, I guess this is happening in my life now.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
at the
You just eat that
yakiniku
stuff,
place.
which
So
I
tongue-
could never eat here.
Tongue was pretty good.
Tongue was great.
Yeah, tongue's
But
good.
then Caleb ordered the cow's third stomach.
I couldn't do it.
What?
We're grilling our own cow's third stomach at this restaurant. I didn't try that one.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Better than the first and second.
Yeah,
I know, right?
obviously.
Does the stomachs get
8.5.
better as they go?
Yeah.
This
You
is like the
graduate
top
through all
shelf
of them.
stomach.
Maybe they get worse. So it's like, well, let's not go crazy. Let's just get the third
Well,
stomach.
by the time it's in the third stomach, the food has been digested 3 times. So I don't know if that's better or worse. I don't know.
Ooh, that's true.
Stomach 3.
Isn't it closer to poop then?
Anyway, we're in the Johnny Depp bar, and then the worst human being ever comes in.
I've never seen anybody manhandle Damon in such a way this Scottish man has.
This like British guy and the Scottish guy come in, and they're wasted. And the Scottish guy was like the stereotype of the loud, obnoxious foreigner, like drunk guy.
He was awful.
Oh man,
I hated everything about him.
I feel like we could have gotten in a fight with him at any moment, but Craig Barradon was there, and he's like a really nice Southern boy. And he was, so
He was
he
just
was like
Southern comfort all the
making,
time.
yeah, he was like making small talk with this guy. But I was like, but the rest of us were like not looking at him. We were like drinking our beers. We were making it very obvious that we do not want to socialize with this guy. So eventually they got the hint, and they were like, I can't do a Scottish accent right now.
I bet he can. I bet you can, dude.
But then they left anyway. But we had a good experience at the small Johnny Depp bar.
I enjoyed that thoroughly. And after I left, you stayed and went to a cat cafe.
Yeah.
You stayed
Detail
in Japan
me-
for a while.
Yeah, we stayed in Japan for another week.
Detail me-
My girlfriend flew out and met me there, and then we had hung out in Tokyo for a week, and we had an amazing time. We had a really good time. We went to Cat Cafe twice. Cat Cafe is a thing in Tokyo. There's multiple ones. We went to one in Shinjuku. It's $10 an hour, and then you go in there, and there's like 50 cats. And you can hang out with them and pet them. You could have a coffee, have a beer.
Okay, I was going to say, is there drinks that you can... Okay.
Are they just climbing all over you? Really?
So, here's the thing.
You're like, it's like a people jungle gym for cats?
This is what I said.
Here's the thing. The cats are used to having people come in and gawk at them. They don't really care that you're there at all. But you can buy...
Oh, so they're cats.
You can buy cat treats. And then the cats are very... then the cats want to be your friend.
Yeah.
Then the cats, every cat wants to come over to you. So you have to bribe them to...
See, the thing that jumped out at me about this is
Was a cat?
I love cats. Damon and I bond over. I love it. I'm with you. It took me a
caught up.
second.
You got there.
I got there. I really like cats a lot, but like that's a big number of cats in one place.
So
50 is a lot. That freaks me out.
It's 2 floors. It's 2 floors of spaces that are probably a little bit bigger than this studio. So 50 cats divided between that area.
Okay.
But pretty much everywhere you look, there are
And there's
cats.
probably at least 150 in the walls.
Yes.
Just
And there are people there just hanging out. There is like someone just playing PSP. There's people there just not even interacting with the cats. They're just there.
They just enjoy the presence of
I
cats.
think
Yeah.
so. They had a Wii set up. Some people were playing Wii. They were playing Smash Brothers. This girl was playing Taiko Drum Master on her iPad.
I love Taiko Drum Master.
And there's
it's
just
just a
cats
cat
around.
sitting on her
Yeah.
shoulder and cats walking across the iPads and stuff.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was pretty great. And there were like unique or strange types of cats there, like dwarf cats that were just around. Yeah, they're really cute. Cats that I've never seen before.
I wonder where they source the cats from. Do you think they feed
That's
them?
what I wonder. Well,
Well, people feed them all day.
yeah, the
That's
cats
right.
Where do the
are
cats
very well fed, I think.
Where do they hide all the cat poop?
Well, there's like litter boxes sort of stashed
Okay.
away. Yeah. So yeah.
It hasn't like gone to the cats.
No.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think the cats are very well taken care of. I think these cats have the life.
I was
'Cause
just
people
gonna
come
say-
in there and feed them treats and pet them every day.
I was
Yeah.
just gonna say, it sounds like those cats are living the life. Like if you,
Yeah.
if a cat pictures cat heaven, like
Yeah.
they end up in one of these cat cafes.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're like strays that they find or they rescue cats. I don't know how they source the cats.
I mean, I'm sure if neighborhood alley cats knew about this place, they'd be walking in off the street all the time.
Yeah,
We're like, we
I'm
got to
sure.
go in there. There's free food. They
Have
pet
you heard?
you,
Hey,
play
it's
video
the-
games,
it's the cat
Taiko
homeless
Drum
shelter.
Master.
But there's like a booklet there that has profiles of all the cats. It tells you their name.
Yes,
their
bring me
sex,
this one.
Tells you how
I'd
old
like
they
to.
are.
I'd like to meet Wilson.
Yes.
They're just around. It was pretty great.
That
It was
sounds
kind
pretty
of.
great.
It was a very happy place.
I feel like something like that would fly around here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Except people
Nah.
would steal the cats.
Yeah, other people would call it cruel to cats or something, even though it
Yeah.
isn't.
It's the opposite of that.
I know.
Yep.
There are like pet stores there that would not fly
Whew.
in America.
Well, that pet store made me sad.
Yeah.
So Damon and I found this pet store, and we went in because there was this adorable French bulldog and this adorable Shiba Inu. And then it was just full of sadness. It was just the dirtiest, sketchiest place with the
Yeah,
smallest
there's
little
like-
cages, and the owner was kind of being an asshole to this dog that was running around having a good time in the store. It was
Kim and I went to a pet store in Shinjuku. There was a monkey in there.
what?
Yeah, you could just buy a monkey for like, I think it worked out to like $4,000 or something.
Wow.
You could just
And you
walk in there and just walk out with a monkey.
And just get on the train with him. And go
why,
home.
why didn't you?
That's amazing.
You could have exped that.
Oh my
It was a
God.
monkey. Yeah. Well, I expense this monkey. It's
Oh,
for
by the way,
office.
Mitch, talk about your expense report. This is amazing.
So, did my expense report for Japan. Put in all my cabs and my meals and all my travel, and all was well. Hit that submit button, and my boss goes, I think there's something wrong with your expense report. It's $11 billion. Turns out
Hey, Tokyo's an expensive country.
Right.
I do not know what exchange rates are.
That's a lot of monkeys.
I put it in
Yeah.
very wrong. So it ended up being like, a dinner for Mitch and Damon cost $80 million. Cab ride, $40 million.
It was really nice though. It was really good ramen.
Yeah, 80
The
million.
best.
Best ramen you'll ever have. 80 million bucks.
It's completely plausible. You don't know what's going on over there. They
Nah.
could be charging you any amount of money.
I think if you ate a bowl of gold, you would still not get to a fraction of that. You could shred it. Have
Shredded
Gold
flakes,
noodles.
Golden caviar.
some platinum milk.
And then, well, so the other interesting thing that we did was we went to the Robot Girl Cafe, which when we were walking around Shinjuku, you saw the ads for it.
I freaked out. And not even in the ad. We walked by the window and I was like, there it is.
Yeah.
That's the Robot Cafe.
So girls driving mechs, and the mechs are giant robot girls, right?
Yep.
So you've seen this? Have you seen the imagery of this? What this
So
looks
it's mechs riding mechs.
No,
girls
ladies driving
driving
mechs.
Actual girls?
Yes.
Okay, I thought you said robot girls are driving mechs. I was
No.
like, what
the robot girl is the mech.
Okay, I got it.
And then a woman sits on the front
It's
and
like the
drives
end of
it around.
Alien.
Right.
Yeah,
Got it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Except instead of like a loader, it's a lady.
Also, the girls probably aren't in their underwear.
No, the girls are in their underwear.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it really is
They're
like the end of
yeah,
Alien.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Kim and I went to this thing, and what it is, it's not really an open bar. It's a show that you buy tickets to.
Like medieval times,
Kind of.
but with robots and chicks?
Yeah,
God
kind of.
damn it, we need that.
I know.
Best country.
You buy tickets, they do several shows a night, they last about an hour, and then the robot, they come out, the girls, scantily clad Japanese girls, come out and do these song and dance numbers. But then the mech part is just one number. It's like maybe 10 minutes of this overall show. So they're heavily advertising the mechs, but it's actually just a small part of the overall show.
Well, that's why you go, and they save the best for last, Damon.
Yeah, it is.
Do the mechs like actually work? Like, tell
Yes,
me more.
They drive the women around.
Yes.
What's
so a
controlling
girl
it?
gets
A
so like,
woman.
It's a seat, right? And
This is a giant lady.
She has,
what Damon is sitting is
yes,
a giant woman.
She is
Okay.
moving the mech. The
Really?
mech, I think they don't really move their legs. I think they're on wheels, but
Yeah.
they move around, and then the head can move, and then the mouth. It's really creepy. 'Cause they're like, holy shit.
So it's like Krang?
And then there's a button to make the boobs go like this.
What?
It's just one button.
So mechs are real, first of all. This
Yeah.
is the first thing that's blowing my mind. I didn't even know that was a real
You thought
thing.
they were going to go the Gundam route? No.
No,
Sexy ladies.
that's what I'm saying. So mechs are real. Someone invented these, and this is what they use them for.
Yes.
It's like not the military, not any
Right.
sort of like, I don't know, like construction.
I kind of like the sound of this robotic post-apocalypse over the like Terminator one, where they're just you get crushed by big boobies and you're like, it's not that bad. And your family's dead. It's okay. I can see it. It's not a bad way to
If
go.
that's
out.
the way you got to go.
Die doing
all right.
something you love.
So the show is $40. They serve you a bento box dinner, but the stuff in the bento box, I didn't eat it. I was like, man, I don't know what this is.
Bento boxes are kind of sketchy. Not
Can
into it.
be. You don't know.
Yeah,
It just depends on what's in the box.
Sure.
I didn't know.
I guess
what
it's
was
sort
in
of
this
it's sort of like when you get lunch at a strip club,
Yeah,
Right.
That's kind of what it was like.
Exactly.
except with robots.
Yeah, and then you can buy beers too, and then they come out and do these song and dance numbers, and they had like an MC girl who was like the lead girl, and her voice wasn't that good. They really weren't that good at dancers. They were just sort of cute Japanese girls, and then they played drums. They did this marching band number, but they weren't very good at that either.
This sounds like the best thing I've ever
I know! I was totally into it, and Kim was like, she was bored out of her mind.
Really?
Even though it was her idea to go in the first place, I didn't know what to expect. I thought it might be sketchy. Then once we got there, our roles reversed, and I was like, this is amazing. She was like, whatever, this is the dumbest thing we've ever done together.
It sounds a little bit like the Cat Circus, where like it's not really that good of a show.
But you still love it. Right?
Yeah.
It's still amazing,
Yeah.
even though it's not.
Sounds
really
like Chuck E. Cheese for adults.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It lasts about an hour. I think it's totally worth it. Next time we'll go.
Okay.
Next time we go to Tokyo.
All right.
That was good. Anyway, those are the adventures that we had in Japan. We did
God
some
damn
other
it,
stuff,
Japan.
too. I know. It was
I
pretty
know.
good.